Hi, my name is Joshua and I'll be presenting on our project which is Arithmetic Circuit Homomorphic Encryption, which basically works on encrypted data where a third party will be able to work on that encrypted data, apply computations, calculations without actually revealing what it is, so it just remains encrypted. So that helps in data in use. But what we are working on our project is this upgrading of RFC 7664 ECDH elliptic curve Diffie-Hellman to supersingular isogeny Diffie-Hellman. So we work with the authentication method, which is data in transit. So uh, just a little bit of explanation. In society, we use the internet every day, right? Where a lot of data is being sent and received through our computers, such as web browsing, sending messages, be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you go, emails as well. There will always be that challenge of security where people are not able to sniff and not able to spy on what you are sending people while the data is being sent. And that's what we are working on. In this image, you can see there's a certificate. This can be found in your Google Chrome website. Just click on the log here and you can see that they are using elliptic curve cryptography, which is actually one of the world's most used cryptography methods right now to help with authentication. So there are two different types of encryption, symmetric and asymmetric key encryption. So just a little bit of background knowledge. Symmetric means that you have one key between two people, maybe Alice and Bob. They both have their one key to decrypt and encrypt. So if this key gets leaked, basically everyone can see what you're doing. Where for asymmetric key encryption, you have a public and private key. So if Alice wants to send something to Bob, she will encrypt the plain text with Bob's public key, send it to Bob, and Bob can decrypt it with his private key, where nobody else knows his public key, and they only know his public key. Right? So right now we are using the advanced encryption standard for encryption, and this can be seen in your website, so for HTTPS to work. However, it has been proved that quantum computers are able to crack the complicated mathematical calculations and derive to the key, which is not good, as if you have the key, they can basically use it to decrypt all the encrypted data of the whatever you're working with, which is not good. So we are looking to upgrade this cryptography method to SIDH, which I mentioned earlier, which is supersingular isogeny Diffie-Hellman. So just a little bit of explanation of how Diffie-Hellman works. Basically, as a public and private key pair. As mentioned earlier, this is asymmetric. Okay, so they both have a private key that they both don't disclose. Alright, then they generate their public key through this their private key as well as this number G. So G is something that they agreed upon and it's the same for both of them, and probably can be publicly known to a third party as well. So public key is generated through their private and G. Then they swap Q and P with each other, so they send their public key over to each other, and they generate this thing called OR. And OR is a point on the elliptic curve. That's why it's called elliptic curve cryptography. So OR is a point where they take their private key as well with the public key of the peer. So in the end, the formula looks like this: OR equals to each of their private keys as well as the point G, where they'll have derived on the same point on the curve somewhere, and they'll take the value X to be their shared secret. This is where it is symmetric key encryption, where they both have one key that they use for encryption and decryption to send things without other people knowing what it is. Right? So they will probably hash it, then use AES to serve as their temporal master key. So for SIDH, it's basically the same thing. It uses elliptic curve, but what makes it more secure is that it works with a family of elliptic curves. So you have this graph P and 2 points, and you can map it into another graph Q, another elliptic curve of these 2 points on an exact same location on another curve Q, like that, which is called and isogeny, which makes these two curves isogenous. I know it looks complicated here, but it's basically the same thing, just a bit more complicated. But as long as you get the concept that this is one elliptic curve and this is the family of it. So the solution that we use SIDH is post-quantum cryptography, meaning that it is not easy or really hard for quantum computers to solve. Not saying it's impossible, but it will take a really long time. And at the same time is a familiar concept with elliptic curve cryptography, which uses Diffie-Hellman as well as the elliptic curves, and is also known to be secure against quantum computer, as I mentioned earlier, and it doesn't compromise the initial level of security that ECC once had with classical computers, which are computers that we use today. So this is why we chose SIDH. This is our solution. And this image here is the mapping graph for SIDH. So this is one elliptic curve, this is another one, and you can map to anywhere in this map. So imagine how hard that would be for someone to crack. So the project provides new level of security when using the internet, and it can obviously impact businesses that run on the internet by providing higher level of security. Any business with higher level of security would eventually lead to more trust between the clients and the company, as they know that their information is safe. In this world, trust is very important as well as security. And finally, it can also contribute towards ongoing researchers as Microsoft, which is working on this project, and if feasible in the future, it will probably be able to help with businesses to do things really securely, so encrypted data will not be decrypted and pose unnecessary risks to be seen by other people. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching.